Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. The Abarth is in the house. This is actually in winter storage at the moment, but I wanted to take a look at a few things today and try to plan out what I need to fix on this before next season. If you are new to the channel, maybe you don't know this car. This is my favorite car. It feels wrong almost saying that because I really like all the other cars, but I've owned this car twice. I owned it and then I sold it and then I bought it back. The reason why I sold it back then was because it was my only car. I couldn't afford more cars to drive in, so I had to have it functioning, and it kept on breaking down back then. And because I didn't have a lot of money and not a lot of skills and not the garage that I have now, it was really difficult to fix it. I have fixed the head gasket on this 5 years ago, I think, using a piece of sandpaper and a flat piece of glass. That worked for a couple of years. Then I actually sold it, bought it back, and the head gasket was gone once again. Then I did an engine rebuild on it last year. I have the complete playlist on that somewhere on the channel. And it's actually been 10,000 kilometers since that rebuild. The engine is still running nicely, I think. Some of you might remember that rebuild was quite hectic, at least when it came to fitting the cylinder head, because I kept on snapping those head bolts. And the reason for that was I was doing it wrong. I was trying to torque some stretch balls using the wrong method. So when I found out about that, I tried once again. Then I ripped the thread out of one of the holes and had to helicoil it because, yeah, it was a big deal. But it is working, and 10,000 kilometers. And I'm not saving this engine or being careful about it. This car gets, I'm not saying abused, but it is getting used to the max. That's for sure. Oh, by the way, I still have some stickers left. I sent these out to all my Patreons if you're interested. And when I fixed the engine up, I also did a lot of rust work on this car. I changed both front wings and I painted them using spray cans, and you can most likely see that. There is quite a big color difference between this and this. At some point I would like to do a respray on this car, but it's not going to be soon, but that would be nice. Also there are some dents and some stuff and already rust beginning on this front wing. That's just the way it is. But what I would really like to get fixed on this car, hopefully this winter if I have nothing else to do, which I kind of do, but I would really like to fix some more rust on this, because if you have been following the Abarth saga, you might know that underneath these are really, really rusty wheel arches. I just ended up putting these plastic trims back on, I think it was last spring, to get out and drive it again. I did fix some rust in the bottom of the doors, and I actually changed the A-post on this car also because the door was falling off. But I never got around to fixing this, so I would like to get that done. And then a while back, I accidentally dropped the car onto a misplaced jack stand and crushed that beam. That I would really like to fix also. And then another thing that is pretty concerning and needs to be fixed. The fuel tank has started leaking badly. The white stuff you can see there is actually some leak fix that I poured onto it to try to stop it pouring out, but as you can see, it's coming from different places. It would be really nice, and I think actually the only solution to this problem is a new tank. I'm not sure if it's going to be easy to find one though, but I will have to do an attempt because, yeah, it's bad. I don't even want to start poking in those areas because it is for sure bad in this area. That needs to be fixed. Then another thing, I have always thought that this car is riding quite high on the front and pretty low on the rear, and I really don't know what's up with that. If it's the wrong springs that's fitted to it or whatever, or maybe the rear leaf spring is for some reason collapsed. And also I need to do something about the exhaust. It is slightly worn and hanging loose. It's going to snap soon if I don't fix that. And I also guess that it's highly likely that I have some rust in here that I need to fix. This car has been in almost daily use forever, pretty much. I am not using it every day anymore, but I was I was doing that until very recently. But what I would like to test in this video is a new tool that I got. And it's not a new tool, it's a very, very old tool. But hopefully it will help me in the future. For the last few weeks that I drove this car before switching to the Lada Niva, we had a lot of rain. And when the roads were really wet, this car started to be really twitchy. It liked to change direction really quickly and was quite unstable on wet roads. It was no problem in dry conditions, but I have had a problem with uneven wear at the fronts. So for a long time, I have suspecting that this car is out of alignment, and you can actually even see it. Maybe you can see it, that the tires are sort of pointing outwards like this. This car is supposed to have a toe-in of 2 to 6 millimeters. It's more like this, and at the moment it is like this. And what I think happens when I drive in wet conditions is that one of the tires loses traction slightly because of slight aquaplaning, and then the other tire takes control and the car suddenly changes direction. So that needs to be fixed. Having slight toe in makes the car much more stable at speeds. I'm not gonna fix that today, but I'm gonna test if my theory about the alignment being out is right, and if my new piece of tool is actually working. So this is the new tool. Very old, I might add, but it's really nice and it fits together perfect with my wheel balancing machine and all that. I like these old and simple setups, and I think they work just fine. You'll just have to figure out how they work and how to use them. I'm not sure about these, so I'm gonna try them out today and see if we can get a result. They consist of these two parts. As you can see, we got a mirror on that one. On this one, we got this kind of plate and a black, I don't know if it picks up, a black line right there. And then you can actually look into the small hole right there. And see through it all the way. And then you're supposed to fit this one on the other side so that you look through this one into the mirror and back again. And then you can line that black line up between that H thingy. So let's try to do that. So these are adjustable, and we can adjust it to fit on the rim like that. By fitting it like this, it is completely parallel to the rim. Then we're going to do the same on this side. Like this, and now this is parallel to this rim, but not necessarily parallel to the other piece of tool, because this could be out of alignment, which I'm suspecting it to be. By the way, this is not going to measure the camber angles, it's just the toe in, toe out. And by the way, I don't really know how to use this tool, I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, but what I think is necessary to do now is to loosen up these. That makes it possible to move this in and out. And what we need to do now is to look into the hole and make sure that we can see the entire symbol in the reflection, because that means that the mirrors are aligned, and they need to be that. So we can move it up and down until we can see the entire symbol. Let's see if we can see something. Can you see the symbol down there? That's the reflection of the plate that I showed you. We need to line the black line into the middle of that symbol like that, and then we should be able to read what this is pointing at. And it is pointing at a half, and I wonder if that's inches or centimeters. I guess it's centimeters, but it is half of something, toe out. And that is exactly what I am expecting to be the problem, because I want toe in on this car between 2 and 6 millimeters, I think. And right now it's, if I'm reading this right, 5 millimeters toe out. So, haha, the system is working. That's awesome. This is, I love this kind of tools. It's really nice. If you know me and my channel, you will know that I'm a bit obsessed about doing stuff myself. And alignment have been one of those things that have been really hard to do myself. I have done it quite a few times using a piece of string that you drag along the car, make parallel to the rear wheel, and then adjust from there. It's pretty difficult, but it's doable, and it will work okay for not precision work, but to make the car track okay. This, I think, will make it a lot easier. And I think what would be really nice now would be to have some plates underneath the wheel, so I could adjust the alignment without having to fight the rubber on the tire. I'm actually not sure it will matter because I'm measuring on the rim. But at some point, I'm going to try to adjust them using this tool, and hopefully we will get it to track better, so we don't wear out the front tires so quickly. But anyway, the tool is working, and it's a pretty cool tool. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.